So we're going to move on, obviously, but I want to cover this news story first because I think it's somewhat, yeah, I wouldn't say a
Okay.
smaller story, but it might be a quicker story.
Okay.
Do you happen to remember a certain Xbox game that is
I
due to
remember
be was
several.
due to be releasing this year? Apparently, according to one of its trailers, Fable.
Uh, yes. Oh no.
Well, Fable has
And
now been officially delayed to 2026.
of course it has. Of
Yes.
course it has. Because probably tested terribly. It looked awful
So
on the
Xbox
latest.
Games Studios head Craig Duncan announced the news on the latest official Xbox podcast. Quote, so I just want to start with really excited about progress, really excited about where Playground are. Bear in mind, this is from a podcast, it's been transcribed as such. We previously announced the date for Fable as 2025. We are actually going to give Fable more time and it's going to ship in 2026 now. While I know that's not maybe the news that people want to hear, what I want to assure people is that it's definitely worth the wait. No poop, you would say that.
What's he gonna say? It's gonna suck upon release. It's just gonna
Mm,
be god awful. You don't want to buy this game. Of course,
yep,
say it's worth the wait.
yep. However, there was something else that happened as a result of this. So, accompanying the news of the delay, Microsoft shared some new Fable pre-alpha gameplay, which people didn't really know about. And Nana's
Yeah.
mentioned this because he mentioned it in the private message to me when I was sending him the topics for the week. He said, I want to say this right now. The fact that no one is talking about this and it kind of went under the radar is insane. That is true. So,
Yup.
Duncan continued by saying, I have unequivocal confidence in the Playground team. If you think about their history and legacy for Forza Horizon, the last two games critically acclaimed 92 on Metacritic, award winning, beautiful, played great, and just what they're bringing to Fable as a franchise. Just think of the visuals of what you would expect of Playground games, plus amazing gameplay, British humour, Playground's version of Albion, so inspired by what's gone before with the franchise, and their take is quite frankly the most beautifully realised version of Albion we've ever seen. Um, so really excited about the plans and really excited about the future, and I want the community to understand that we do these things for the best of the games and the teams, and ultimately that results in the best games or the best game for the community. Hmm. Yeah.
Maybe.
So as unfortunate as it is, I don't think this is a bad thing.
I, 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 I don't on the principle that yes, we have that kind of standard axiom that we've mentioned many times of a late game is better than an unfinished game.
Mm, a delayed
We've
game.
yeah.
The delayed game will eventually become good. A rushed game will all forever be bad. But that's not necessarily the case anymore
No,
because
it's
of
not.
patches.
And well, I mean that's true too.
Outdated
Um,
quote.
I guess that's true. We need to patch that quote. But
Oh, that's also
uh,
another episode
all
title.
right, Ben, pump me for a tequila. I'll bang those titles out. But I am annoyed because I am a Fable fan, very strong, big time Fable fan, and what we saw for the last 3 or 4 years has not been good,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm nervous about it. I think that it, I think too much time has gone by now for them to play off of Fable's old fan base and the old like hype for it,
Mm-hmm.
but the new generation doesn't know anything about Fable.
Yeah.
So they're gonna have to do a completely different new game, which is what I think they've done.
Mm-hmm.
I just wish they would have called it something else
Um.
because it's not gonna be Fable as we know it. The
No,
Peter
but
the Peter Molyneux promise of people walking around making choices and the choices matter and everyone's I'm trying not to say the word AI because that's not the term he used, but he was referencing AI when you think about it.
in some
Uh, you
degree,
know,
yes, he was.
He's like, yo, it'll be sentient. Everyone will be sentient, basically. Again, that's
True.
my word. You know, and Peter Molyneux is famous for over-promising and under-delivering. But regardless of doing that, Fable 1 through 3 are actually good, solid games. They really are.
3 not so much.
3's
Half the game is decent.
I was gonna say, yeah.
The
I
first
guess you're
half,
right, you're right.
it's one of those ones. Is the first half of the game is pretty decent. The second
Yeah.
half, where you are
It
actually
pulls
the king, is kind of
I
crap.
was gonna say it pulls the switcheroo on you, which I kind of liked at first, but then I learned to game the system.
Yeah.
No pun intended. And then it was just like, okay, yay. But anyway, that's neither here nor there.
Yeah. The annoying thing is that I really like most of Fable 2. I really love that game, in fact.
Yeah.
I just think it's one of those games that really annoys the living crap out of me for how much of a damp squid that freaking boss fight was. It was so disgracefully bad.
Yeah,
It's like, okay, walk up to you, bang, shot, dead.
yeah.
And that's the boss.
I know it. Yeah. So Steven is back at Tozy, which is his kissy cat.
Okay.
Thinks I should have brought him some food, even though he's got more than half a plateful left. He is very upset.
Oh, I know that.
Yes, I was gonna say Pete can relate to that.
Well, I can't.
Not as him personally,
No.
but he also has a little boy.
I do.
A little orange young gentleman.
Yes, who was very enamoured by that parcel that I received.
Yeah, he probably had Apollo all over it.
The box that it came in probably smells of your dog. So it's like, okay, I quite like this box, and it's a cat because he likes boxes anyway.
Yeah, and Pollard says, he means you should have brought him some of your food, which
Yep.
is yes.
That is 100% accurate.
Yes, that is how all of our lovely little children are.
Mm.
Oh my goodness, yes.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm in two minds about this. I want the best game possible for Playground Games because I think they're a great studio. Like the Forza Horizon games, whilst I didn't like 5 as much as 4, it's still a very well crafted game.
Yeah.
I'm interested to see what their take on Albion is. But it is going to be very hard for them to pick up what Lionhead did so many years ago. And it's also the fact that someone brought this up. The last Fable game was in 2012?
Crap, I'm old.
Well, I think it was 2012, wasn't it?
It was definitely
2010, 2011 or 2012, somewhere like that.
Oh, no, it would have to be 2010 because I hadn't moved here yet, and I moved here in 2011, and I'm pretty sure I was already playing, so it had to be
2010. Oh, God.
Yeah.
Even worse.
Holy
okay,
crap.
the last Fable game that came out was 15 years ago than this year.
Oh, my God.
Some people out there in the gaming community weren't even alive.
Or in diapers.
So how many people really give two rats about a Fable game these days?
Exactly.
By the time this releases, it will be 15 years since the last release.
That is insane. That's absolutely insane.
Yeah, so I'm really not sure, but if they can capture the essence of what Lionhead were doing, then great. And I will have to go and watch the pre-alpha footage because I have been waiting for more footage to come out, and they sort of just dropped it and nobody really noticed. Hey,
I didn't.
Whatever.
So, yeah.
So yeah, very interesting